I didn't get to read the author notes yesterday after we finished volume 3. So we'll quickly check that out today. And then I'm gonna quickly watch an interview that popped up on my recommendation. I was like, oh, I'll watch it with you guys. And then you guys said there's a Dunghua interview. So we can watch that. So we got like 2 interviews and 1 author note to read through. So I'll go through them today. So let me switch scenes. And if you like what you are going to see, make sure, okay, I gotta clean this up a little bit right here. So if you guys like what you are going to see, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and we'll start reading now. All right, after all these technical difficulties, now we shall read. Volume 3 author notes. Lord of Mysteries, Book 1. Damn, barely Book 1, dude. Volume 3, Traveler. I don't think I should know Volume 4 yet, right? Unless it's revealed in these notes. But Volume 3, Traveler, and the volume author summary. By the way, thank you, Wind Valley, for posting these as always. Thank you for always being like the GOAT when it comes to translation. Can you make it bigger? I can make it a little bit bigger. Wait, hold up. All right, so the 3rd volume is titled The Traveler. That was established very on at the end of Volume 2. Oh, yeah, if there's spoiler tags, I'll be careful. Yeah. The 3rd volume is titled The Traveler, and that is why, as I mentioned in the past, I envisioned that this volume... Lighter? I envisioned this volume to have a lighter and more relaxed tone with a simple structure. Dude, this was like not a light volume. This shit was so action-packed. It was definitely not relaxed. Unless he's interpreting like more adventure, spontaneous German Sparrow. I don't know, man. I can't see German Sparrow and this volume as being more relaxed. But okay, more relaxed tone with a simple structure. Just someone journeying, stopping here and there, encountering different landscapes, meeting people, and completing certain tasks or objectives without delving too deeply and getting tied down by the web of events. To be honest, light, less complex. This is definitely the most relaxed. Dude, what the fuck? Cuttlefish is crazy. What the? This guy's tripping out. Yeah, what the fuck? After chapter 627? More lighter? That was the most. Chapter 627 was like the most cursed chapter in all of LOTM so far. More relaxed. That's crazy, dude. Just someone journeying, stopping here and there, encountering different landscapes, meeting people, and completing certain tasks or objectives without delving too deeply and getting too tied down by the webs of events. That's crazy, dude. To be honest, writing this Travelo, I've never read this word in my life. It's your favorite chapter? That's crazy, dude. To be honest, let me raise the volume just a smidge for you guys. To be honest, writing this travel log style narrative was quite challenging. Just when I'd fleshed out a character, grown familiar with a setting or a place, and established a sense of cultural contrast, I'd have to move on, continuing the journey. It's really tests my abilities to quickly introduce distinctive characters and engaging events. That's true. Looking back, I think I handled it well up until Klein's advancement to Sequence 5 Marionettist. I think he did really good even after that. After that, things got hectic. I had too many threads to tie up. Ooh. And since much of it involved revisiting familiar places, I had to condense the narrative, which made some parts feel rushed. Many readers assume I work with extremely detailed outlines. That's what I assume. But that's not the case. What I plan meticulously are all kinds of settings. My outlines is not a timeline of events. It is just like Roselle's diary entry pages. I understood that reference. It is not a timeline of events. It is a combination of overarching themes of a volume whose narration structure do I use to write this theme, which plots to carry over from previous volumes, which new foreshadowing to plant, I understood that reference, okay, planter, maybe it's going to be very prominent in volume 4, to plant within this current volume, and which mysteries to finally unravel or spread breadcrumbs. Beyond that, I improvise. He improvises all this? Or he improvises certain parts? Really? Damn, dude. Beyond that, I improvise. I only start planning the next volume story. What the fuck? After previously finishing the previous volume. Trying to plan every single plot point across hundreds of thousands of words would be not only a waste of time, but also rigged. Because no idea is concrete. You can't truly gauge how plot will play out, where it would lead until you actually start writing the chapters. Plus, new ideas often strike mid-writing, which might completely ruin everything you've just planned. For example, remember how I wrote the scene of Klein leaving Backlund at the end of the previous volume when he runs into Benson and Melissa? I remember that. I did not come up with that image of his return amidst undercurrents of tension for this book's finale, along with a thematic punchline until that very chapter? What? His brother and sister making an appearance was also a decision that came to me while I was writing that chapter? What? I did not plan for them to show up. The idea came to me. The idea. Whoa, hold up. The thing just changed. Hold up. It's typo. Oh, it's in this volume. Oh, okay. I find it. I was like, wait, it changed. Like, I like as we were reading it. Thank you, Web. Thank you, Wind Valley. The idea came to me, and I decided to use it on the spot. While outlining the volume, I marked where the book world would come into play, but beyond that ending, I left specifics open. Later, while writing the release of the Nightmare Beyond her characteristic of the church-inspired struck. Oh. Having Klein relay a message to his daughter before visiting the church was actually written after I finished the visit of the church part, giving the theme every journey has its destination. Oh, like even the nightmare characteristic had its destination. With Cuttlefish improving this thing, can you think of a single plot hole? That's the crazy thing. For him to come up with things on a whim, there hasn't been any plot holes yet. Like there's been things that's been set up that probably haven't been answered yet, right? But there hasn't really been a single like plot hole, right? Like none of that has actually come up, which is fucking crazy. For him to not have like a huge outline, he is such a good writer. While outlining the volume, I literally just read this. I'm so sorry, I got lost. Lastly, during the process of writing about Grizel's travels, I introduced its characters. Like the lone soldier, the idea of homesickness and returning home suddenly clicked. All these pieces combined made the third book's conclusion crystal clear. That's crazy. That literally clicked during Grizel's travels. The third volume is deliberately low-key, or you can say it's bland in a sense. A stylistic choice tried its structures. As I'd warned before I even started writing volume 3, readers expected a grand, explosive finale might be disappointed. I'm pleasantly. I don't feel disappointed at all. Hold up. For lack of a better words, I was not disappointed with the ending of Volume 3. I thought it was a grand epic. That's how I interpreted it. As I mentioned, the ending is meant to evoke a sense of simmering danger. Ince and Will's appearance at the end of the volume. Okay, so we did catch that. It was Ince. The Mother Tree of Desire's malice and the Rose School's ambush all tightened the tension. I thought I read Farming Klein. Framing Klein's eventual return to Backland. Two major challenges in this book were writing in a travel log format's inherent difficulty, writing 2 dungeon dives, the God of Combat ruins in the book world. That was hard for him, the 2 dungeon dives? Fans of my earlier web novels known as the dungeon segments tend to be dry and rough with only climax standing out. In The Sage Who Transcended Samsara web novel, I assume this is a prior work, I improvised by expanding dungeons into full-fledged worlds with proper building and companions by stand-alone segments like the true Martial Tomb arc, still suffered from being too dry to read. Really? I feel like he's such a hard critic on himself, dude. Relying on suspense alone, Martial Arts Master, another web novel, he has another web novel. That's 3 web novels so far. Really? Barely had any dungeons, so there wasn't too much to critique. For Lords of Mysteries, I spent a long time figuring out how to handle these 2 major dungeons. Drawing from my previous work, I prioritized suspense and companions, then added entertainment value based on my experience, but something still felt missing. Then I recalled a conversation with my friends in real life when we realized our creative approaches differ. I start with the world and story, then design characters to fit. He begins with interesting characters and building the narratives around their interactions. So they're different. While I stick to my core method, I've gradually incorporated some of my friend techniques. So far, Volume 3 Dungeons, I shifted from companions to memorable characters. He switched from companions to memorable characters. Everybody in Grizel's Travels was a memorable character. Letting their dynamics drive the story, this led to the God of Combat ruins part in the volume. It's a writing experiment for me, and it worked. For the first time, my subscription numbers rose during a Dungeons arc, nearly 100,000 words of constantly engaging content. For the book world, I took a different approach. Since the first exploration would be brief, I couldn't delve into the characters' backstories or emotions. The solution came from the volume 3 title, The Traveler. Let me explain. A traveler don't stay in one place. Okay, yeah, true. They don't have time to know someone better, so I deliberately avoided exploring Grizel's and Bobette's past or inner monologues while writing the book world. Presently, only their words and actions with cold objectives. If you reread that section, you'll notice I never directly state Klein's feelings. I left it blank because in Klein is a traveler, a passerby who briefly crossed paths with the book of the world characters. Damn, man, that's deep, dude. What the fuck? And then even Klein said, like, in this world, sometimes you'll have like a companion for like only 30 minutes and then you got to move on. The result, some readers found it forced and awkward, others felt melancholy, while few speculated deeply, trying to reconstruct the untold stories of the book world characters. But that was exactly what I wanted. After all, each human's sorrows and joys are not the same, especially through a traveler or a passerby's eyes. Final thoughts on Volume 3 characters are plot integrated well, but some sections could have been more fleshed out. Writing grows as the series progresses, and I need time to rechange an outline. Also, oh wait, hold up. He's gonna talk about Volume 4 right here. I saw that. Also, my stomach's been acting up all week. I've got a doctor's appointment. He has a doctor's appointment tomorrow, taking 2.5 days off, resuming with writing Volume 4 at noon on Saturday. Oh, and to those who've guessed the next volume's title in the comment section, you are correct. Book 4 title is blank. Wind Valley translated notes. Hold up. This is Wind Valley. Wind Valley translated notes. Cuttlefish revealed the title himself in the summary, but I still spoiler tagged it. Easy can check Volume 4 title if he wants. Thank you for your support. As always, monthly votes for this web novel is appreciated. Sincerely, Cuttlefish. April 3rd. This was in 2019. Hold up. So people were able to guess Volume 4. Bro writes in the Divine Kingdom, i.e. the toilet. Wait, hold up. He reveals Volume 4. We gotta guess it. He came back to Backland. It's not a marionette. That's a little too on the nose, right? Volume 4 sequence name revealed, right? Yeah, so it is revealed. Hold up. He hasn't revealed it to me. Oh, hold up. Before we can like even guess, I should probably look at what's been announced so far. We're gonna do 3 guesses. He came back to Backland, right? So he has returned. We ended off with the Nighthawks. If you want, you can. All right. So if we ended off with him returning the nightmare characteristic, I have a inkling suspicion. Maybe it's called Night Watcher. Is it Night Watcher? For the Sleepless Pathway. Title result in the Demoness Trust, but okay, okay. I'm guessing it's either Night Watcher, Bard. Unshadowed sounds pretty cool. Unshadowed, and if it's not Unshadowed, he came back to Backland. That's where he learned about his cards of blasphemy for the Dark Emperor card. Maybe, and then like Emlyn White wants to like become a Baron, right? Or did he become a Baron? I forgot. Maybe we go for like one of the lawyer names, right? So it'll be like Frenzied Mage, Court of the Fallen. That's all I got. Oh shit, somebody sent it? That's all I got. If it's not one of those, I'm gonna read it. Because I do want to hype myself up. Because I know the title doesn't necessarily spoil like Klein's progression. But it reflects the themes of the volume. Okay, it's Evernight Mobby. All right, I'm reading it. Okay, if it's not Evernight Bros Cooking Too Hard. All right, if it's not Evernight Mommy, I don't know what it is. All right, here we go. I'm gonna unclick it. Volume 3. Oh, wait, no. Volume 4 is gonna be called You're Close. Oh, it's the Undying. Wait, I was so close. Oh, I was so close. I should have put a drum roll sound effect. Okay, book 4 is titled The Undying. Oh, that sounds exciting. There's so much to guess from that, dude. You were close? I was a little close. All right, I'm not gonna lie. Just a little bit close. Oh, I like it. The one thing I've been able to pick up from Cuttlefish, he's such a hard critic on himself. I realize that. Like, this guy is such a good writer. Like, I feel like Cuttlefish is his biggest fan, but also his biggest critic. He really is Undying. We know that it's the Death High sequence. Bro, it's gonna be good, dude. It's... All right. We're probably gonna get more. If it's Undying, we're probably gonna get more on 2 characters. Since he announced Volume 3 to be that, if we're gonna be hitting Undying for Volume 4, 2 probably prominent characters. I feel like this volume has to revolve around a Zik or Amon. Like, it has to be that. A Zik because he's part of the Death Pathway, and Amon because technically he would be like an Undying character that saps people's life, right? So I feel like those are gonna be 2 prominent characters in Volume 4. But you know what? Sorry if I was a little all over the place reading these notes. I got so used to reading on our normal format that all of a sudden when I read on a smaller font, yes, I'm a boomer. All of a sudden when I read on a smaller font, I'm like all over the place. But I think we're gonna leave the volume 3 notes there.